The Taliban, who were called terrorists until last month, are now at the helm of a federal government. The new cabinet comprises some of the most dreaded UN-designated terrorists. In total, 17 of 33 appointments have sanctions against them. More unfortunate, however, is the news that the entire world is silently watching these developments from a distance. And in contrast to what was promised to be a moderate government, the Taliban have already issued a carbon copy of laws under which it ruled Afghanistan from 1996 to 2001. From alteration in curricula to stifling of free speech to subjugation of women's rights, it is doing everything opposite of what it committed during the peace process and what the world feared. "20 years after their radical Islamic rule was overthrown by US-backed forces, the Taliban are back. And this time, they are stronger and brazen. Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, the name they recognize themselves with, has announced its interim government nearly 4 weeks after they swept Kabul on 15th August last month. Mullah Muhammad Hassan Akhund, who rose to prominence for his role in the destruction of Buddhas of Bamiyan, will be the Prime Minister. Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, the Taliban's face in the peace talks, will be his deputy. Sirajuddin Haqqani, the son of the founder of another terrorist organization, Haqqani Network, will be the country's interior minister. And that's not all. 17 of the 33 cabinet members have sanctions against them. The group, which has been desperately trying to project itself as a moderate version of its previous regime and had hinted at an inclusive government during the peace talks, hasn't included even one woman in the cabinet.
Alhamdulillah, هیواد مو له اشغال څخه نوې ازادي ترلاسه کړه. د جګړې ټول عوامل له منځه لاړل. هیوادوال مو له سرتاسري امنیت څخه برخمن او په لومړي ځل د یو مستحکم اسلامي نظام د رامنځته کولو لپاره زمینه مساعده شوه. همدغه راز هیواد مو په مختلفو ساحو کې هر اړخیز فعالیت او د خدماتو عرضه کولو ته اشد ضرورت لري.
As far as the women are concerned, Taliban is not shying away from imposing the same set of repressive and regressive laws that governed them in 1996. On being asked as to why the women were being kept away from the mainstream, the Taliban exposed itself on a national news channel. As per the misogynistic Taliban, women can't be ministers as they are simply incapable for the job. They should rather be giving birth. And those demanding rights are women of ill repute who were working for the US. The statement came in the aftermath of massive protests that swept capital Kabul. With women at the forefront of anti-Taliban protests, people demanded equal rights for all. In just weeks of its return, the Taliban have already asked women to remain covered in a particular manner, not to play sports, to not to be co-educated, by and large remain confined to the walls of home. People say that it is the diabolic union of Taliban and Pakistan that is destroying Afghanistan, and Pakistan must stop hatching nefarious plots against them.
افغانستان یک کشور مستقل آزاد هست و همیشه می باشد. اما هیچ وقت خواهان پاکستان در کشور ما نیستیم. پاکستان از افغانستان بیرون شود و مداخله‌های خود بند بسازه بالای افغانستان.
The
Taliban, which largely comprises illiterate brutes, is also cracking down on the education system. They are planning to alter the syllabi across schools and colleges. Students fear it will not just jeopardize their learning prospects, but will effectively cost them their career.
این مشکلات و چالشات در قسمت تحصیل ایجاد نکنند، ما بتونیم مثل سابق در قسمت تحصیل و در قسمت شغل اینا فعالیت کنیم.
And freedom of speech is a thing of past in Afghanistan. 2 journalists who dared to cover and show people's descent to the world were detained and brutalized. These horrific pictures are ominous signs of how Afghanistan is going to be like in coming times. Taliban have tried to smother protests by open firing on unarmed civilians. Meanwhile, the international community, including the United Nations, has done nothing except for lip service. They have acknowledged the crisis, condemned it, urged for peace and rights, and have moved on with their lives. It is the people of Afghanistan at the same time who are witnessing a government of the terrorists, by the terrorists, for the terrorists.